Football is the most popular sport in the world by far. It has conquered the love of fans from everywhere on the planet, from Europe to South America, Africa, and now even developing in Asian countries. Football counts almost half the population of the planet as its fan, and yet it still hasn't conquered the most influential country on the planet, the United States of America. It's something almost bizarre to think about, considering football, or soccer, in the way Americans prefer to call it, is the most popular sport on the planet. However, we believe we've found the perfect reasons that explain why American people hate watching football. And please, to all the Americans watching, make sure to stick around until the end, because we want to know if we are right. Billions of people tune in to watch the World Cup, and the top players are very popular in many countries. So what's different about America? Why do sports like American football, basketball, baseball, and even hockey manage to get massive crowds and TV audiences, while soccer struggles to gain traffic? Here's our take on it. One reason, although we do not believe it's the main one, is Major League Soccer, or MLS, which is the main professional soccer league in the United States. MLS is often seen as a low-tier league compared to the top European leagues, such as the English Premier League, Spain's La Liga, or Italy's Serie A. These European leagues feature the world's best players and attract huge audiences. By contrast, MLS lacks the same level of skill and star power, making it less appealing to American sports fans who are used to watching top-level competition. Just think about the fact that all of the best competitions in other sports are most likely located in the USA. For instance, think about NBA, the best basketball league in the world, NFL, the best American football league in the world, or UFC, the best MMA competition in the world. The lower quality of play can make it difficult for MLS to compete with other American sports, which feature the best athletes and the most exciting action. Despite, they have signed some players in the last few years, such as Messi and Suarez. The average quality is still low, and most football fans consider it a retirement league. Somewhere football stars who are about to retire go to play their last years of their careers. Even though MLS might not be the best, you might think Americans would still watch European soccer, where the biggest stars play. However, this isn't the case. And here comes what we believe is the main reason behind all of this. What we believe is that it could be that soccer doesn't have the same kind of explosive moments that American sports fans crave. In American football, touchdowns are celebrated with big dances and fireworks. In basketball, there are high-flying slam dunks and long-range three-pointers. Even in UFC, there's the dramatic knockouts that hype the crowd, or the hatred between fighters after press conferences, filled with constant trash-talking. Soccer, on the other hand, is a slow-paced game with fewer scoring opportunities. For many Americans, it doesn't have the same level of excitement. Commercialization and entertainment value are also significant factors. American sports like football, basketball, and baseball are designed with entertainment in mind. The Super Bowl, for example, isn't just a football game. It's a massive event with a spectacular halftime show, big-budget commercials, and star performances. These elements add to the overall entertainment value and attract viewers who might not even be sports fans. In soccer, there are few commercial breaks and no extravagant halftime shows. The game moves at a steady pace, with limited interruptions, making it less appealing to advertisers and fans who enjoy the spectacle. Let's dive deeper into the halftime show concept. In American sports, especially football, halftime is an event in itself. The Super Bowl halftime show is a prime example, featuring top music artists such as Eminem and Rihanna, elaborate stage designs, and millions of dollars spent on production. This is a big part of what makes the Super Bowl one of the most watched events in the US. In soccer, however, halftime is usually just a short break for players to rest and for coaches to make adjustments. There's no grand entertainment, just a simple pause in the action. For American sports fans who are used to big halftime shows, soccer can seem less appealing because it lacks the extra entertainment elements. Essentially, Americans enjoy watching sports not because of the sport itself, but because of the show that is made out of it. The cultural mindset of the United States also plays a role in soccer's lack of popularity. The US has long been seen as a superpower, leading in technology, economy, and culture. Americans are accustomed to being the best at what they do, whether it's in business, technology, or sports. But in soccer, the US has historically been an underdog. Countries like Brazil, Germany, and Italy have long dominated the sport, making it challenging for Americans to embrace a sport where their teams are often not the best. In sports like football and basketball, Americans are used to seeing their teams win. But in soccer, the US teams often struggle on the global stage. Geography and history also play a role in soccer's popularity, or lack thereof, in America. The United States is separated from other countries by oceans on both sides, with only Canada and Mexico as its neighbors. In Europe, where soccer is massive, countries are close together, and there's a long history of rivalries and conflicts that add intensity to the matches. These historical rivalries create an emotional connection with the game that the United States doesn't really have. When England plays Germany or Brazil plays Argentina, there's a lot of history and passion. But when the US plays a soccer match, it doesn't carry the same level of historical significance. But it isn't only about the national teams, it's also about clubs. Clubs in Europe can play soccer's biggest competition for clubs, the Champions League. But MLS clubs? They can't. They're too far away. And that's also a reason why top players don't want to join American clubs. It's all about the ambition, and going to the MLS means you will not have many accomplishments compared to players that are in Europe's biggest clubs. The slower pace of soccer can also be a turnoff for American sports fans. In American football and basketball, there's a lot of strategy, and coaches play a significant role in calling plays. Soccer, however, doesn't have as many timeouts or pauses, so players have to make decisions on their own. This can make soccer seem less strategic compared to sports like football, where coaches are constantly involved in calling plays and substitutions. The limited number of timeouts and substitutions in soccer can make it feel slow and monotonous to American audiences who prefer more frequent breaks and changes in strategy. As we mentioned before, a big factor to consider is the commercialization of American sports. In the US, commercialization is deeply linked with the sports culture. European soccer fans, on the other hand, tend to prefer a more traditional approach, focusing on the purity of the sport without the additional entertainment. European fans already think the sport is being commercialized a lot, whereas it just isn't enough for American fans. The European fans' resistance to commercialization makes it challenging for American audiences, who enjoy the added spectacle in their sports. Therefore, the differences in commercialization and entertainment value are significant reasons why soccer hasn't gained as much traction in the US as it has elsewhere. American sports are designed to keep the audience engaged with big moments, high energy, and extra entertainment during breaks. Soccer's continuous play and traditional approach make it more difficult to fit into this American sports culture. And another factor that we just mentioned before, but we would like to dig deeper on, is trash talking. Would you believe it plays a key role too? Yeah, it does. In fact, in American sports like basketball, football, and baseball, and more importantly, MMA, trash talk is often seen as a natural part of the game, a way to engage with opponents and increase the competition. It's not uncommon for players to exchange a few choice words during a game to gain a psychological boost. This intensity can add to the drama and excitement, creating memorable moments that fans love. However, in soccer, especially in leagues inside the US, trash talk is much less common. With a stronger emphasis on sportsmanship and respect for the opposing team, this difference in culture could be one reason why soccer has struggled in the American sports scene. American sports fans are used to seeing athletes who are unafraid to engage in a bit of verbal sparring, and they enjoy the elements that come with it. I mean, just think about Conor McGregor. He's the perfect example for trash talk. He made himself not only with his skills in the octagon, but also with his skills on the microphone. Getting into his opponent's head by talking bad about them was a huge trait of his. Soccer's approach to player interactions might not parted with American audiences, who are used to a different level of intensity and on-field banter. Without this edge, soccer might seem less engaging and lack the personal rivalries that drive interest in other American sports. In the end, it's clear that there are many reasons why soccer hasn't become the dominant sport in America. From the quality of MLS to the slower pace, from the cultural mindset to the commercialization. There's a lot that makes American sports unique. But that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with soccer, or with those who love it. It has its own beauty, strategy, and global appeal. And who knows, maybe one day soccer will become as big in America as it is everywhere else. Until then, let's celebrate the sports and traditions that make each culture unique. But whether you're a European or American, we want to know your take on all of this.